Welcome, everybody. Nate Hagerty here, CEO of TaxProMarketer and Advisor Pro Marketer, and I am really thrilled about this conversation. I've gotten a lot of people who have been emailing me in about these kind of topics. We have talked with so many of our clients and people at the industry. In fact, my team right now is at AICPA Engage as we are recording this webinar and doing this session. We got a bunch of people here with us live, but if you're listening to this after the fact, I'm also really excited for you to get what Michelle's going to be talking about. I am going to kind of let her introduce herself. She's also got her team member, Denise Mandel, with us as well, who will be interacting in the comments. So Michelle Weinstein is a recent friend of mine. Say hi, Michelle.
Hi, everybody.
She is somebody I've gotten to know in the last year. We connected with her through actually a variety of contexts, social media, but also we also connected with a mutual friendship, a variety of mutual friendships actually in the industry. And I had her a few, I guess, months ago at this point with just our clients, and we did some of what we're going to talk about today with just our agency clients for what we call our office hours. We do kind of every other week open call-in for our clients, and Michelle hit it out of the park. And that episode was recorded. We didn't do all of the Q&A afterwards, as is our normal thing in those office hours. But if you go to our podcast, go to our website, go to our podcast, you can hear another episode, a recording of that time that we had with Michelle, if this rings your bell. But there's going to be a lot of things that are going to ring your bell today. So Michelle specializes in helping accountants and tax pros charge higher fees, increase their firm revenue in the doing, and also just in client engagement processes and positioning processes. She's known as the pitch queen. She's the host of the Abundant Accountant podcast, which I think is actually one of the better podcasts in our industry going right now.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Maybe Denise can put that in the chat box for you all so you can subscribe to it on Apple Podcast or Spotify. I talk everything non-technical, Nate. So
awesome. Well, I'm going to hide my camera so you can just talk and put your content
hide
up
cameras
there.
And then Q&A when it's more interactive. For those of you here, I'm very excited to be here today. I've got an incredible short training, impactful, that should change your firm and your life forever. I would like for you to get a pen and paper so you can take notes and focus, because we're going to dive in, move kind of quick, because I love the Q&A part. That's actually my favorite.
And we will record all of it, so it'll be there. So go ahead.
Okay. Perfect. And, we have a lot of amazing transformational training to get through today. So today we're going to talk about the 4 shifts smart accountants and tax firm owners use to charge higher fees and double their firm revenue, and how to do this without having to take on new clients or working harder if that's not really what you want to do. So that's up to you. I'll leave that piece to you. So, basically, this is what we're going to talk about today: how to maximize your income, your freedom, and your impact. Now, we're also going to specifically go through how to do this with charging 3 times more than your competition and getting paid premium fees for doing it. How to get paid first and upfront. I know this is the quirky one, but also how to say goodbye to burnout. There's too many people that Denise and I have run into that are burnt out, and we want it different for you, so you can plan vacations and go during tax season. So that's really important to us too, so you can actually stop grinding 14 hours a day and reclaim your sleep and energy once and for all. And we're going to talk about how to do all those things, even if you've never charged that much before, even if the competition really isn't going to do it that way, because you've already researched what your competitors are doing and you're like, and how you do that without losing any revenue. And even if you feel like you kind of want to give up at times right now and throw in the towel, someone told me this yesterday, but how you can do that, even if you've got clients that have been with you for years, but you fear that they're going to leave you. And we're going to talk about how to do all that, even if you've never done it before and it sounds impossible right now, which, I don't know if you want to type in the chat box if that sounds impossible and you've tried everything and just really haven't gotten the results. So really quick, I know Nate shared who I am, but let me take 2 seconds to share and introduce who I am and tell you why maybe you should listen to me today and take copious notes. Number 1, I have helped plenty of accounting and tax firm owners double their revenue and gain their time freedom back. And I've spent the last 20 years perfecting this process that we're going to cover today. We're going to cover the shorter version today, but also how our clients have collectively increased their revenue over 1.8 million from where they were before. So what I did was add up all of our firm owners, what additional revenue they did prior to even meeting me. And it's been 1.8 million as of a couple weeks ago. And when it comes to accountants and tax pros to get these transformational results, we are the best at what we do. There might be other people teaching pricing, sales, other things, but no one's doing it like we do. We get transformational results. And I can say with no ego that we are the best probably in the US world in what we do. So here are some real results from some of our clients. This is Dave. Dave is a CPA firm owner in New Jersey. And Dave was so desperate that he took on anyone that came to him and gave massive discounts to retain them. He also was constantly moving his billable rate down to try to retain clients. And in a few short weeks of working with us, he generated $8,250 for a revised tax plan from a current client that he thought would never pay that much. And what he ended up doing was gaining the confidence he needed to really get rid of the unprofitable and time-wasting clients. And now he averages $7,500 to $20,000 for tax plans and consulting services. When we first met, he was doing $288,000 in revenue, and now he's projecting to do about $600,000 this year. And this also works with like Jody and Marion. So they're a CPA firm on the East Coast, their husband and wife team, and they felt totally undervalued. They resented their work and were exhausted and burnt out when we first met. They also did not want to let go of low-paying clients because they feared losing money and also their reputation around town. And they knew they couldn't keep working so much though for so little money, and they needed a plan to grow their firm. And what they did in working with us in 2 months, they got rid of a third of their clients. They added an additional 100,000 of revenue above where they were before, using the exact process that I'm going to share with you today. And they actually feel energized, sleep better, and are loving the work they do, and they feel happier in their marriage. And I have that on video, by the way. So, or you guys might resonate with Erin. You know, Erin, she's a CPA as well, and she felt totally overwhelmed with her client load, and she was really anxious about where her firm was going to go in the future. And what Erin shared with me was that she had invested thousands of dollars in other resources and coaching programs, and was ultimately frustrated with not getting closer to her goals and where she wanted her firm. And Erin's vision for her firm was to work part-time, do about 150,000 and hang out with her 2 kids. That's her vision. And she knew she had to make a change, and she took the leap of faith, blind faith that is, even while it was terrifying to work with us because she was making a bunch of changes. But here's something really cool. She gained a new monthly client at $3,000 a month, which was 1,100% more than what she was charging before. So that client was actually a current client paying her $250 a month. And she had a solid sales process that gave her the confidence to charge those higher fees. Or we got Ross too. So this is our client Ross. He owns a bookkeeping firm. He travels with his family to a new country every 3 months. So he went from like the brick and mortar to 100% virtual. He's 100% location independent, and Ross had zero confidence around his pricing. He was always justifying his fees to potential clients, downplaying the value of his work, and ending up giving massive, massive discounts to clients. And what he did, he joined the Abundant Accountant program, but what he did was he learned how to charge and increase his base fees more than 300%. So before he averaged about $350 a month for all his monthly bookkeeping and accounting clients, and now his minimum is $1,000 per month. And he also raised his fees to his current clients, which has now resulted in over $18,000 a month that he's receiving in monthly recurring revenue.
Which is pure profit.
This is pure profit, correct. Yeah, so He, in about the last 12 months, has added about 100,000 more in revenue using the exact principles I'm going to share with you today.
And
And again,
can I interrupt with the email that I got from our friend David?
yeah, totally.
Not on the webinar, but is a mutual client, and he sent me an email just this morning when he found out we were doing this. And he said, what did he say? He said, I raised my fees substantially working with Michelle this past year. And he saw Michelle during his kind of weekly time with her yesterday, and was just excited for other tax pros to get access to this. And he's based in New York City. You'd think it would be like the capital of high fees, but
Yeah, no, he's made drastic changes. Dave also had over 300,000 in AR that he didn't share with you in that email. We've cut that down by half. He's collected it. Everything moving forward, he's 100% paid up front, which we're going to talk about right now, because that is so I'm going to share with you a 4-step strategy today, and that all these people followed. And I want to also get into what do they all have in common, because what they have in common might really help you. So those are the kinds of results we're getting for our clients. But what do these people have in common, and what do they have in common with you? And what the basic thing is I think all of us want income, freedom, and impact. If you agree, feel free to type it in the chat box. And whether we realize it or not, that's what we're after. Because, so for income, okay, if you want a firm that can scale with you, no matter where your revenue goal is, whether that's to hit 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month, or 100,000 a month, whatever it is, you want to be able to hit that revenue goal, right? Okay. But the other thing is, well, once you have the revenue, then you want to be like Nate and travel the world and have freedom. Yeah. So we also want freedom, because it's not good to reach our revenue goal, have all this money, if you're a slave to your firm, grinding 14 hours a day, have no time or energy to spend with the family or even travel, right? You can't have one without the other. But those two things are also not enough. So if you're here and you're listening and you're taking notes, I know you also want to have impact, and you want to make a difference with the work that you do. And if you want to do that, then you also have this bubble, the impact bubble. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be happy churning out compliance work and pricing yourself to simply beat your competitors. And I know that's probably like not you, you want to make a difference for your clients. You want to do more high level work, consulting work, and you want your life to matter while also getting paid your worth. So income, freedom, and impact, in fact, your firm must give you all of those things in the long term. Otherwise, you're going to sabotage yourself, right? You're not going to be happy in the long term if we don't have those three things, and then we end up sabotaging ourselves. So can you guys kind of see how this really works? How everything sort of ties together. So those are the things we have in common. Now, there are 4 shifts that you need to make in your firm to really maximize your income, your freedom, and your impact. And we're going to go through all 4 of those pretty quickly right now. Now, they're not it's not rocket science, and I'm sure you might have heard 4 of these before. So I'm going to show you the preview, and then we'll dive a little deeper on each of them. So the first shift you need to make is command premium fees. Okay, that's the first bubble. So what does that mean? Well, the first thing is to understand that people don't pay you for your time. They pay you for the information that, they pay you for the result that you get, not only the information. So we'll get into that one a little bit deeper. The other one is going to be using a secret weapon, which we're going to talk about. The other one's going to be leveraging your time. That's one of my favorites as well. Where did it go? What happened? Okay. And then the last is invest in mentoring. So to dive deeper on commanding premium fees, remember that most accounting pros believe that clients pay them for their time and expertise. What I'm saying is that they pay you for the value of the outcome you deliver. So that's what they care about. They just want the outcome. So for example, let me give you an example. If you sell a tax plan, does anyone sell tax plans here? Okay, great. If you do, you can type it in the chat box. But if you sell tax plans, you save your clients from the headache and anxiety of not only overpaying a lot in taxes probably, but also the confusion and uncertainty of tax intricacies and the IRS code. So then your clients can sleep peacefully at night. And you know what that's worth? Well, it's priceless, because the amount that someone overpays the government or spins their wheels not knowing, the tax code and all that other stuff, what you do is priceless. It's the same thing as a doctor going in to do brain surgery to remove a tumor. That is priceless. You don't have to go through price negotiations, discounting, doing free work. You don't have to go through the anxiety and stress, and you can actually get the passion back for your firm. And that is priceless. So of course, then you can double and triple your fees, no problem. And that's what I mean when I say command premium fees, because you should be charging 2 to 3 times more for every current client and any new client who comes through your door. Okay. So now when you raise prices, some really, really cool things happen. And for those of you that have raised your prices, then this might resonate with you. But clients become really responsive and proactive about providing all the information you need. That means they upload documents on time, they show up to meetings, they get really great results, and they make you look like an absolute rock star. Okay. Now, the other thing that's really cool is you reach your revenue goals a lot faster. And the third thing that also is really cool is that you don't need that many clients. Just like Erin, she really only needs 4 or 5 clients paying her $3,000 a month to work part-time and spend her life with her 2 kids, which is what her goal was. So not only that, when you're working with less clients, your clients feel special and they feel supported like a VIP. Okay. So commanding premium fees is the fastest way to double your firm revenue while working less and with the most devoted and loyal clients. So can you see how this works? Now, I want to get into the next shift, because the great question is, well, how do we do that, right? And we do that using what I call the secret weapon. And now, before we talk about what the secret weapon is, let's talk about the old way of doing things, like what everyone else is telling you to do. And the old way is maybe getting as like many clients as possible, even if they're not a good fit or you don't want to work with them. Or maybe you want to answer people's quick questions. Client calls, I just got a quick question for you, Nate. Or maybe you work as much as possible and you sacrifice your personal life completely. Or you crank out tons of tax returns every season, and then next year, like, I'm not going to do that again. Or maybe you don't even know what to charge, and then you wing it with every client and think that maybe you'll get it right. Or what about this one? You send out a proposal or quote and then hope that someone's going to click on it and actually pay it and sign it, and then they never do. Or you give discounts, negotiate, or justify your fees. Or maybe you impress clients with techie jargon as the way to show your expertise, when in reality, you're kicking yourself in the foot. Or maybe you give some free advice and do some free work and say, oh, you know what? They're going to engage in the future later at higher fees if I do that. Or maybe you work yourself to burnout and exhaustion by grinding 14 hours a day. And then if you do all this work, maybe at some point you'll have a profitable firm and feel valued and appreciated by your clients. And to be honest, this is what I call the cross your fingers method of running your firm. And the reason I call it that is because you do all this work and you cross your fingers hoping your revenue will increase, or hoping clients will just go away that you don't want to work with, or that you're going to have the time and freedom that you've been dreaming of. But can you see how that makes absolutely no sense? And this is why so many firm owners are struggling and can barely keep their head above water. And then they wonder, why did I even go out on my own? Maybe I should have just been in a job. So if that's the old way of doing things, well, then you're probably wondering, well, Michelle, what's kind of the newer way? So the newer way is using the secret weapon, which we have coined the 3P system. Very simple, but here's what it looks like. So you don't need to send out a bunch of proposals or quotes or give discounts, grind long hours, or burn yourself out on things that aren't making you money. Okay, you don't need to be postponing vacations. You don't need to lose any more sleep, and you can have peace of mind so you don't have to neglect your loved ones anymore because you're, quote, too busy. Okay, you can replace all of that other stuff that drives you nuts with the 3P system. So let's talk about the first P. The first P is package and pricing your services. And what this does is it helps so there's no confusion or stress about how much you should be charging, and so that you feel like you're being paid in direct proportion to the results you get and the value you provide to a client. Okay. Now, if you package and price, you're going to do that before you show up to a meeting. Are we clear? Then you're going to be at the client meeting and present whatever package you came up with in a very specific way so that your clients see your value and know that you will deliver the result. And then they will gladly pay you for what you charge. Now, this is the other one. In the same meeting where you present, you're also going to collect payment. So collecting payment first and upfront before you do any work is the other key ingredient. And I'm going to go into that in more detail in just a minute. And doing all these 3Ps together will give you a profitable firm with higher paying clients.
And
That's
Michelle,
it. Yes.
if I could get every one of our clients to package what they do in
Yes.
a clear way and get your help, I would be so freaking thrilled, because I'm so tired of tax and accounting practitioners who let the client dictate all
Yeah.
of their billing. And even those with the service orientation that I care deeply about. I mean, there's so many. Are you going to expand upon the packaging component of this? Because there's so much to be said.
There is so much to be said. That's probably an 8-hour session.
Yeah.
But I will talk about how we can help those that want our support on that. And then I can talk briefly about it in the Q&A later.
Okay, well, let me just say this.
So many intricacies that come along with that. But here's the thing, or go ahead.
No, sorry. I just have found, I mean, for instance, I tell this to people as well. Like, I pay 2 different tax and accounting professionals and for different components of I've got like 5 different entities.
Yeah.
I have one, the main one is TaxProMarketer, but I'm paying $1,500 a month for tax advisory stuff and $2,000 a month for kind of CFO level advisory stuff.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. The tax advisory guy had a preset package.
Yeah.
And the CFO, I started out at like 600 and I kept leaning on her and she just had to keep raising her fees. But I would have felt amazing about spending that from the very beginning. And it would have also set me at ease knowing that there's kind of a system in place for my, vendor in this context, that they know what to expect and they price accordingly and they can package it. And I am absolutely fine with investing that level of fee when I know that I'm being handled in a way that is going to be customized for me, but works within a particular system. That actually feels comforting to me.
It's probably also comforting to you, Nate, because you will pay whatever for delivered results.
Yeah.
There's so many times that I've heard, and I mean, a client of ours right now, I don't even know what she emailed me this morning. It was something along the lines of, even on a follow-up meeting, but we won't get into that. Otherwise, we're going to go way off tangent today. But for packaging and price, if you just follow this 3P system somehow, some way today, massive shifts will happen for your firm. And you tell me what sounds easier: sending out proposals and quotes, taking the passive approach, chasing down clients, doing free work, giving some discounts, always feeling burnt out, full of resentment. Or you can just do these 3 steps and then that's that simple, because that's how you can have a highly profitable firm and not be like David, who ended up with 300,000 in AR that he had, the gentleman you were talking about. But this also means that each of you can eliminate 90% of the time wasting activities that you've been doing with nothing to show for it, and replace it with this simple system. Just 3 steps.
Can I also ask,
and
this maybe you'll address this in later sessions, there's a fair number of people, I see a lot of names on here who are primarily tax and compliance. Have you've seen this work in a compliance scenario?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's even easier. because you've got 400 clients and you would just take care of them all at once.
There you go.
It's slightly terrifying and scary, but we hold your hand every step of the way. And, you know, everyone's turned out in the positive. No one has said, oh, Michelle, I lost a third of my or I got rid of the third that I didn't want and I made less money. They've all doubled or tripled their revenue and got rid of 30 to 50% of the volume that they didn't want anyway. It happened to David. You should ask David how many clients he was able to shed. And he even said, I should have charged more, Michelle. I'm like, don't tell me. We had this discussion. So,
all right.
you know,
I'll shut up.
No, it's totally fine. You can keep talking. I love our interactions. And this works on compliance only firms. This works on monthly service type CFO monthly services. This works with accounting and bookkeeping based type firms. This works with people just doing tax planning or even just tax resolution. It's the same process. Sales has so many different elements to it, not only pricing, not only how to communicate with your clients, not only the payment, but following up. I mean, sales in a firm is your client experience. And believe it or not, this whole process is actually the backbone of a lot of our clients' success. So the 3P system is all you need to charge higher fees, even to your current clients, and a way to double your firm revenue. And most people end up doing way more than doubling, but I like to be conservative here. So I want to share a few people, because this is how my clients are able to charge higher fees they've never charged before. This is how they're able to get paid up front, by giving their clients the confidence that they're providing them the results that they can't get from anyone else. That's why Nate will pay 2 or 3 different, you know, someone for the CFO services, someone for the tax consulting, because he has the confidence that they're providing him results. And when you use the simple system, just package, price, present, collect, payment, before starting any work, that's how you'll have a profitable firm. And I know it's true because I see our clients do it over and over and over again. And that's what we teach. And it's the backbone of our clients' incredible success. So here's Wendy. Remember, you asked me if it works for tax firms. So she did this for all her 1040 clients. I think there were about 500. She had them pay in advance. She increased the fees, and she started receiving payments for tax prep before they even got the tax documents from people. So she said it felt a little weird cashing the checks and taking the money before they started the work. But hey, guess what? She runs the show now. Her clients don't run the show. Peter, his firm is a combination of tax planning, tax compliance, monthly services. He increased revenue by 57%. He decreased his client load by 40%. And he increased his average revenue per client by 163. So just to give you some solid numbers, which you'll see later too, because I have them in my little video I made for you guys. Peter increased revenue by 100,000 just in the last 5 months. He's still working with us. Peter has gotten his monthly recurring revenue up over $16,000. He went on vacation during tax season and he has a reduced workload. So this is the difference of what can happen. And then we have Erin, who I talked about earlier. So she's the one where she had a current client paying her $250 a month, and it's now $3,000 a month. And now she's really being super picky because she only wants 3 more clients like this. So you get to choose how you want to build your firm. So now that we know how to command premium fees, package, price, present, that brings me to the third shift, which is leveraging our time. Okay. So leveraging your time, your expertise and knowledge is the most valuable asset. So why would you waste your time being a bill collector? You know, sending proposals or quotes and billing clients, or saying, oh, I got to go do my billing tomorrow, and chasing what is happening? You know, how did it disappear? And chasing the low paying clients for payments is the #1 time waster I see in firms across the board from everyone we've worked with. And what if there was a way to set yourself free and get even better results for your clients? And the way to do that is really to get paid up front. Getting paid up front is your key to your time and financial freedom. And you will finally stop also trading time for dollars. So what's kind of the old way of doing things? It's like chasing payments, having accounts receivable. And what we also know that you're probably wondering, well, we increased the price and now you want to get paid up front. So how do we start charging what we're worth and when we're presenting our packages in a specific way? But this important piece of collecting payment and doing it first and up front before doing the work is extremely crucial. Because if not, we've been servicing and pleasing too many low-paying clients by doing free work or giving discounts. I spoke with someone last week and they had a line item on their P&L that was called discounts, and it was at about $25,000 just for this year so far. Maybe you send out hundreds of proposals or quotes, you chase down the money from the clients, and then you end up with a ton of AR and cash flow problems. That's typically what I've seen for everyone like David, who you brought up earlier, even what Wendy was dealing with before we had worked together. And chasing payments and hounding clients down is kind of bad since there really are only 40 hours in a week. And if you're wasting hours doing clerical work and sending reminders and making those kinds of phone calls, you even kind of lose track of maybe who's owing you money and who hasn't paid. This is not the best use of your time, especially if you're doing high-level tax planning, tax resolution. That is really not the best use of your time. And I don't think you thought you were going to, have to do that kind of work. But also grinding 14 hours a day with no vacations, because you're always on the cash flow and exhaustion roller coaster ride, is probably irritating as well. And then we lose the joy and the motivation, and then we resent the work that we're doing for our clients and wonder, why did I start my firm? Maybe I should have just had a job. So instead of using your time to make a difference in your clients' lives, you're wasting it on these administrative activities, I call it. And getting paid up front removes all of that. And remember what I said, people will pay you for the value you bring to them and not the amount of time you put in your firm. So it's very crucial to remember that. Now, one other thing on leveraging your time. So what you might be thinking, well, Michelle, like, what's this new way, or what do we do? So the way is to get paid up front. It's to get away from sending proposals or quotes and hoping a client will click on it, the link that you send them, and pay you or sign your engagement letter. So here's what you do. You're going to get paid up front in the first meeting with a client, and you're going to get an engagement letter signed outlining the terms of your service at the same time you get the payment. So once you do that, you don't need to chase down your clients at all. The only thing you do is you start working with your clients. And being paid first allows you to feel also valued and in balance so that you can avoid the burnout and resentment. So when you've been paid, now you can do the work. There's that synergy and symbiotic, there was a transaction made and now you can do work, which then gives you more time freedom. It also gives you better cash flow. It gets you paying higher value type clients, paying you more, which will end up resulting in profit and revenue increases. So imagine being able to serve fewer clients, get them the results they're looking for, get paid up front, have the bank account full, and go on vacation. So that's what will happen when you do it this way. Now, getting paid up front is the fastest path to your income, freedom, and peace of mind, and the impact piece we talked about earlier. It also will separate the clients who see your value and will eliminate those who will waste your time, right? How many of you deal with tire kickers, looky-loos? Does this make sense? We can eliminate those low-paying clients and stop wasting time with them by doing it this way as well. So now I want to transition to the last shift before we get into our Q&A, okay? And the fourth shift is invest in mentoring. So look, as simple as this process is, commanding premium fees, packaging your services, presenting in a specific way, collecting payment up front, so you have tons of time and freedom, there are a million ways you can still mess this up. So why try to figure it on your own if someone can just hand you the answers, right? And someone like me, I can show you exactly how to do this because we've done it with over 118 firm owners. We have helped accounting and tax firm owners quickly grow their firm revenue without burnout and without frustration. And that's what Denise here and myself have helped firm owners succeed in every type of firm. And Nate, you were asking that earlier. So offering monthly bookkeeping services, tax planning, tax representation, CFO services, profit first, profit coaching, you name it, it works across the board. You name the service, we've helped that firm owner. And what we do is we turn their firms completely around so that they can have relaxed success and go on vacations and do the things they only used to dream about before. So now here's how I can help do that. My team and I, that means Denise and I, have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak to some of you personally about how you can apply these ideas and strategies in your firm today. So if you go to theabundantcall.com, you can book a phone call with us for 1 hour. And what we're going to do on the call is we'll talk for 45 minutes and we're going to get crystal clear on 4 things. Number 1, where you want your firm to be and how to get there quickly, avoiding a lot of the pitfalls along the way. Number 2, who are those dream clients? Which % do we need to get rid of? Which ones do you want to keep? Also, who are those dream clients who will happily pay you 200 to 300% more for your work? And number 3, the exact prices you should be charging depending on the services that you're offering. What is that magic number that will bring in the most revenue with the least amount of headaches for you? And the 4th thing we're going to talk about on our call is the exact formula you should follow to enroll those clients at your new premium fees. So there's no charge for these calls. We offer it as a free service because we also know that some people might want to work with us and the others, you're going to just get a lot of clarity. So our goal on this call is that you get massive clarity. And now once you have the exact formula, if you want our help, we will talk about that. And if not, that's fine too. Like I said, our goal is to just help you get massive clarity and value. And if you're like most of the firm owners we talk to, you can stop doing about 90% of the time wasting things that you've been doing and make just a few simple shifts that are transformational in your firm. Okay. Now, I also want to show you, this is what the calendar booking page looks like once you get there. So you're going to go to abundantcall.com. You're going to see a bunch of testimonials and case studies, but on there, there will be a little button that says book a call. So you just want to click that button, pick the time. Denise and I have a very busy week. So I actually am opening up a couple slots on Saturday. So if you guys see a Saturday slot, feel free to take it because we're going to do that for you and for Nate because we were slammed before. And then I also want to show you and see and we can maybe watch a couple minutes of this video because I told you about Peter earlier. So you can hear what our clients have to say about maybe why you should book your free breakthrough call as well. So here's what some of our best clients have said. And, I think I need to do the volume thing. Hold on, let me just share my sound so you can hear it. And we'll play this for a couple minutes. And while it's playing, what I'd like you to do is type in the chat box what questions are coming up for you right now. If you can type in the chat or Q&A box.
Just don't second guess it. Just do it. Just take the chance because otherwise you're going to keep doing the same old thing. And if you don't want the same clients, you can't use the same methods to get new clients. You can't sell your existing clients on new things if you're using the same methods or just relying on your winning personality, because that's not at it as much as you think it will. Just take the chance and learn the process.
I love that. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, our old ways don't create new results.
Applying sales mastery and the principles being taught in just a very short period of time immediately resulted in huge revenue increases. In a 5-month period, I had about $100,000. I brought in about $100,000 in a 5-month period. That was over and above whatever I would have projected.
Had before.
Yeah.
And your monthly recurring revenue is up as well.
It's more than doubled. I was somewhere around 7,000 before, and
A month?
per month, and now it's over 15, almost 16,000 and growing.
Well, my revenue's up. April bill service is up by $6,400. And that's just because of my March 1 price increase. So that'll be monthly. At least
That's huge.
5,000 to 6,000. Yeah, it's big. Yeah,
You should be so proud of yourself.
I am. It's scary. You know, I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome.
I mean, Diana, that's $77,000 increase per year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's because you gave me enough balls to do it. Or I wouldn't.
The experience has been amazing. And now I have a system where I know exactly what I need to do each week to move my sales forward, to build a pipeline, to price, to know my value, all of those things that I just had no idea what to do before. So within about the first month of working with you, I had almost $4,000 a month in extra recurring revenue. So that was $4,000 more per month that I'm now experiencing in my firm, which has been amazing.
There is no right time to do it except for the time is now. If you're thinking about it and considering it, you should really do it now. And again, you would always find an excuse of, oh, it's year end or, oh, it's tax time. But once you start the process, you are going to realize how valuable it is right now to really help you going forward. So I would say just do it now.
I found that in your sales mastery, it delivered results. And in our first conversation, you even talked about ways for us to tackle things before getting to the place of starting the mastery course. And I was really impressed by that. So I took that leap of faith to say, hey, you know, this is different.
You know, and I have told my friends about this course, and I'm trying to get them to hop on a call with you because it's just transformative for their business. And so when they complain to me about, oh, I'm still doing, you know, a tax return for $150 and it's tax season, and you know, I don't need sleep. Who needs sleep? I'm just constantly looking for that April 15th deadline. I'm like, it doesn't have to be this way. It can be better. And I think that's the one thing that I was looking for, of knowing that, yes, it can be better. It doesn't have to be this way. And so I think that's the biggest takeaway that I like to share with people.
It will be the very best thing you've ever done for your business, without a doubt. And this isn't, you know, running around for 2 months trying to learn stuff. To be quite frank, you, Michelle, inject an enormous positivism into the entire process. And that is not just very uplifting, but it's hugely useful because you come from a place of scarcity. And it's nice to see someone on the other side of it who's just so completely sure, hey, kids, this is a happier way of doing this. And that is the absolute truth.
2 weeks into the program, we were able to collect 10,000 of the, actually it was almost 11,000 of the 28,000 that we had outstanding. And just this past week, 4 months in, I became 100% AR free. So we are not going to have AR anymore. I am not going to chase down anyone for funds ever again. Really, it does instill confidence in you, and it lets you know that you are in control of your life. Nobody else is.
The course is quite comprehensive. It really covers beginning to end in a very intense way. Things that you didn't know you need to know, it is taught in a very simplistic way. But then again, there's that unknown of how do you do it, how do you say it, how you prepare yourself, all the things that you need to onboard a client. The course teaches you how to really to evaluate if you want to work with the person or not. Do they meet your red rope policy or not? And then at the end, you sell your price for what you're willing to work with the person for. If they're willing to pay that, then it's a win-win.
We've been able to increase our numbers dramatically, in my opinion, over the last 6 months. I think it was about a little over $250,000 in 6 months just in added income.
Success is an intentional act. If you want to be successful, you have to take the steps to do exactly that, to be successful. Going through the sales mastery class is an intentional step that you have to take, be willing to commit to, and be willing to do the work. You will truly get out of it everything that you put into, and you'll be amazed at the end.
You know, there's never going to be a convenient time. There's never a convenient time where, oh, now I have the time to do it. No, it never happens. So it really boils down to just making a commitment to yourself, making a commitment to your, you know, what changes that you really need to make. And it has a multiplier effect once you do that.
I would say that if you don't have this, your business is not gonna, I mean, this is your front end process. This is where you get to shine, truly show your value, come across very professional. Like if you don't have this, then you're just gonna be in that struggle. That's how I feel. So I'm so happy that I did the training, and I would highly recommend you to anybody. In fact, I do talk to a lot of CPAs, and I already talked to them about you. They ask what changed for you, and I say Michelle's program. So that's what I tell people.
Okay. We can open it up for questions.
Sounds great. Turn on your camera, Michelle.
Yeah, on it. And Denise, you can too, if you want. You know, Denise can answer questions too, even whatever you want. What's the first question? I don't see any questions.
Well, no, we do have in the Q&A box, Kathy Anderson wanted to know, moving clients to another staff preparer without having them leave the firm. What do I say? So Denise, you want to answer this thing, or?
I mean, you can.
No,
Kathy, can you hear me?
No, yeah, go ahead. Shut up.
Okay. I think the main thing is that when you change your approach on how you sell, you're going to sell the firm instead of you. And if you start selling the firm, like when you talk to the abundant accountant, you get our team. You get me, you get Denise, you get a new team member we have coming on board. Like we're offering a team approach where you get help. I think a lot of firm owners make the mistake. It's like, oh, you get me. Okay, well, you can do that approach if you are a high paying boutique firm, kind of like a concierge doctor, right? If you hire a concierge doctor that comes to your house, you're going to get that doctor. They're going to have that specialty, and you're going to be paying a tremendous premium for that. The problem is, Kathy, I think, is that the prices are so low. They think that they get you all the time when really you want to bring on a tax preparer or helper to do the work. So it's shifting the conversation to your clients from it's just me to now I have a team. And we would be here for 8 hours talking about how to do it. The how is the detailed portion of it, but that's the overarching challenge that you would want to overcome. It's how do you communicate that you are a firm and not just you, and that they get to work with you and your admin and the preparer. Like with me and my CPA, I talk to the woman who prepares. I don't talk to the main CPA all the time. We do that. I'm kind of like, Nate, I have quarterly calls. That's enough for me. I don't need every month. So you have strategy calls, but then you have people that actually do the work, and you want them to build the relationship with everyone. Just like I want everyone here to have a relationship with me, with Denise, with our other coach. You know, we want to make sure that you're not 100% relying on me, because that's not how you get the best results.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, and that's good. And man, I loved seeing those stories, Michelle, and I recognize some of those folks.
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
Oh, yeah, no, that's awesome. Tommy had a question in the chat that I thought was interesting. Hey Tommy, good old friend, longtime client of ours out there in Chattanooga. He is looking at retiring and selling in the next 10 years. And so he wants to know how he should concentrate his time. And so, you know, I've got some thoughts. What are your thoughts?
I mean, you can share that. I don't, you know, that's not my specialty. I can tell you from my business owner hat that I would, if you're looking to sell the firm, people want to buy the most valuable thing that they can continue and keep it going. Now, if that's, you know, there's some people, I talked to a gentleman like a week ago where he had 500 clients and the average value of his clients was like 300. And I'm like, have a nice day if that's the life you want to live.
Right.
You know, do you want to sell a business where you're like, hey, here's my business I'm going to sell, I'm retiring, but the only way this business works is if you work 80 hours a week, you're overwhelmed 24/7, you never get a break. It's like, what do you want someone to purchase? If you want to have something more valuable, then maybe you focus on tax planning, higher paying clients, less volume. And now you have a book of business that's very attractive, because that's the hard stuff to do. That's the hard part. So if you spend these last few years as you're working, focusing on how do I make this the most valuable thing, where someone goes, I don't want to put in the work to create that. Anyone can get McDonald's type clients. And excuse me if that offends anybody, but that's how all of you feel sometimes, because we talk to you.
Especially this season.
Huh?
Especially this year.
Yeah, because the deadline was actually in April. It didn't get extended, you know, and it's just like, do you want to take control over your firm, or do you want to keep struggling? You get to choose. Now, there is a sacrifice to make that shift, and that's time. Investing with us and putting in the time to make these changes. Like David, I think he was pulling his hair out, Nate, for a couple of the weeks. He thought I was absolutely crazy. I made him do things he didn't really want to do, but that's what it helps when you have when you're held accountable, and when it's not just information. What Denise and I provide for people is transformational results. It transforms your life. And that's what I think you also want to create when you sell your firm.
Yeah. And Tommy, the other little piece, I'm sure they'll talk to you about this if you talk to them on the phone. I would also urge you to think about moving yourself out of client work as much as possible. That might feel like an impossible dream, but as much as you are able to begin passing off tasks, direction of the business, so that you are able to get into the place, because a buyer, yeah, they could buy you, but then you're trading your business for a job. And you don't really want that, right? You know, you can, but if you start the process now of moving yourself out of only, except for maybe the clients that you most care about, that would be amazing. Genevieve, find employees. Yeah, you know, that's actually on our list. We're actually in active development of creating kind of hiring and recruiting ads and funnels for our clients. So yes, for sure, you know, that finding those good employees is a big deal. Not everybody finds it as easy as others. So I do want to say to Axel, I know Axel has got a big practice, and you know, I think Axel, it's going to be pretty life-changing for you if you apply these principles even to your tax prep business.
Oh yeah. I mean, David, he had mostly tax prep. He wants to do more tax planning, but he didn't have any time. So we had to do a major overhaul. And when I say we, he did the work. I just guided him, and Denise guided him in what to do. But it was life-changing for David. And he had like 900 tax prep clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot.
And he's a client of ours. He's still building and growing, but just doing it differently and better now. I will say, like, I just want to kind of name the elephant in the room. You know, Michelle has a really polished presentation, and she is advising and encouraging people to get on a call with her, and you will have an opportunity to enroll in her program and pay for that privilege. There is no money changing hands between Michelle and I in this. I wanted her on this because I wanted my clients to get access to somebody who would help them with this. And if you're not ready for that, no skin off my back, no skin off Michelle's back. She's got plenty of work and plenty of clients doing this. But I do recommend that people try this and give her a shot and go. I think it's theabundantcall.com. Is that right?
Yeah. Or Denise put in the chat box the other link as well, the direct.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of presentations in the past where I've got a rev share from somebody I bring on a webinar or something like that. I don't do that anymore. What's awesome about that, it's enabled me to be a lot more choosy about the kind of people that I bring to these kind of settings. And I'm not looking for just like huge sales numbers. And I'm looking for somebody who's going to serve my audience and serve my clients well.
Yeah, and again, it's about the results, you guys.
Right. Well, I was going to say one more thing. I've kind of seen behind the curtain a little bit with Michelle, and you know, talked about her with other people that she knows really well. And the thing about Michelle that you need to know is that she will not let you stay stuck. And she is a follow-up master and will help you become one as well and help you lead a team and just make these shifts. You're not going to stay stuck. And so whatever the cost might be for you to invest in her program, if you want the change, I just recommend it. Again, I'm not getting anything for this recommendation or anything like that. So hopefully that makes it feel cleaner to you.
Oh yeah, Kim asked about the ballpark cost. Kim, that's a great question. And I would ask you, what do you think about when your clients ask you the ballpark cost of what it is working with you, when we don't know what your firm challenges are? We don't know anything that's going on. But what I can tell you is that I should be charging a commission. And a lot of my clients have told me that, but we don't do that. And, we're not here to waste anyone's time. But if you want to get crystal clear on what's not working in your firm so that you never even have that question again, and that you would invest anything to get from here to here because you're done doing it the way you've been doing it, that's what we hope for you. And again, if it's not a good fit, we'll tell you that too. So don't worry, but you will have a very clear picture of what you need to do and change in your firm after we have a one-on-one call with you. Just too much to do it in this group setting. And everyone's firm's unique, right? Like Axel does a lot of volume, clearly. And he's got some of his own challenges where we have people like Erin, where she just wants to land 3 or 4 or 5 clients paying her $3,000 a month so she can work 20 hours a week and spend time with her 2 kids. Same sales process, same conversations, just different firm kind of dynamics. So
yeah, Mary has a good question in the chat there. I'll read it out and then you can respond. She wrote, it's not everybody can see it. She wrote, sometimes you can't tell what a client's needs and time requirements will be in a first meeting. So how do you assess that to come up with a fee before you see the work to be done?
Yeah, and that's a great question, Mary. And what we teach is a way where you should have a good assessment as to what work is required. And that's part of your sales process and your client experience prior to, to be honest, Mary, wasting time with clients that you're like, well, that was a wasted meeting. I still didn't learn anything about what they needed and what their challenges were. So we figured out a way to make sure that when you meet with a client, you should already know what your package is and you should already know what your price is. So by the time you start and meet with your client, it's like, number one, your profit's going to be at least 60 to 80% on whatever that service is, and that you have enough room and buffer in case there was a surprise. I mean, how many people here have had a client meeting and they did scope creep, you didn't price it out right, there was way more work on a bookkeeping cleanup project, and you're like pulling your hair like, oh my God, what did I just do? We make it so none of that happens. And if, there's extra work, it doesn't really matter. You're getting paid so well for it that it doesn't matter. You're okay with that. You're not going to resent it.
And man, I do want to also say, I like this about Michelle, and you can really take these principles and do evil with them because they're effective. Or those of you who are service oriented, this enables you to, I think, to serve more effectively and have more energy to bring to your clients that you care most about. And that's a really important thing to me, that you aren't like doing 100 hours a week or, even 60 hours a week just to kind of keep the lights on in your practice. But you're able to give your best self to your family, to your spouse, to your children, to, whatever's important in your life, to yourself, and give your great energy to the world and your clients, the ones that really need it right now. This is a scary time, and they don't need burned out accountants and tax practitioners. Kathy asks, is this for accounting firms? So she's called, the abundant accountant for a reason. It's actually, she works a lot, probably mostly with accounting type businesses. But she has a lot of tax practitioners as well. So if you just do advisor, this is a great program for you. In fact, it's probably perfect. But
someone put in the chat, I want to pick a niche and stuff. And I told you, book a call. Yeah, that's what we did. I mean, what we do in our business is also what we teach. The only difference is that it's specific to accounting and tax firm owners. It's the same process. It will just be varied a little differently for every single firm. And that's why it's a lot of work. You get to create it, you know, and we can't make you do the work, but we will help you through whatever mind blocks you have and things that are keeping you stuck. When you say you want to do something or you want to do this price increase, but you don't want to charge $20 more this year, you really want to add another 150, but you're like, oh my God, how do I do that? That's terrifying. I have to hit the send button and send an email to my list of 1,000 clients. You got to be crazy, Michelle. We talk you through those challenges. That's what this is about. That's why it's transformational work. It's not just a book on your shelf about how to charge higher fees or increase your price. There's plenty of sales books out there on how to do that. But the thing is that we've learned is most of those books are still sitting on everyone's shelf. We can learn and take in information, but to actually transform and do change and make change, you got to be held accountable sometimes. That's why I go to the gym 6 days a week with a personal trainer, because I'm like, I know how to work out, but I like the accountability. And there's areas in your business where you get to invest in accountability. And that, you know, this might be one that you'd want to do that in.
Yep. Yep.
And those that did book a call, will send you an email to review prior to booking the call. We did open up more spots, Nate, because there was a lot of interest. So we're going to clearly be very busy next week. So if we need to open up a few more, we will. But again, we will confirm calls. We will have you do some things prior to your call. You have to fill out a form before your call, and you have to review some materials prior as well.
And if you do meet with her and you're an existing client of TaxProMarketer as an agency client, wring her neck to get you to like do the special deal.
Well, we teach, Nate, no special deals.
Oh, okay, fine,
we teach don't discount and don't do all that.
I will just encourage all of our existing agency clients, please, at the minimum, get a call with her, and at, you know, please sign up with her, because man, I tell you, when we are sending scores of leads per month to people of qualified prospects for your practice, and you're charging $300, you know, it's not great for us, because we want to see you like get a really amazing ROI from what we're doing. Yeah. And so man, please use her.
Yeah. Okay. So for the 39 people still here, what was your biggest takeaway from today? What was the one thing you learned? And what is the one thing you will implement? Put in the chat box.
Redeeming this time.
Yeah.
Chit chat at the end of these things.
I want to know what you got out of this. So you can sit on webinars all day long and not do anything, or you can sit, listen, and go, okay, I am going to do this one thing, or I learned this today, or I'm going to make this one shift. Because even if we don't talk to you, you can implement. On my podcast, the Abundant Accountant podcast, I've met people that have listened to it and said, oh my gosh, Michelle, I made an extra 50 grand last year just by listening to your stuff. And I was like, cool, that's awesome. You know, so some people will listen to information and implement change. So what's the one thing you learned today, or what is your biggest takeaway from today? And what is the one thing you're going to implement today? Because when you implement, that means your investment in Nate's lead stuff is going to have a higher ROI. Yeah. Okay. Making the actual transition to increase business revenue. Very good. Okay. The one thing I got is hope. Heck yes, Axel. I got a lot of hope for you.
Yeah,
a lot of hope. I am 1000% confident whatever's driving you nuts will come to a screeching halt within about a 60-day period. But you got a lot of work to do. Increase prices, Jerry. Yep. And when I talk increase, Jerry, I'm talking 300%. So if you charge for a tax return right now, 500, minimum should be 1,000 to 1,500. I know 1,500 is terrifying for most people here. So I have most people will charge around $995 to $1,000. The people that really want to stretch their arm and trust the process, they'll go to 1,500. But I promise you, a lot of headache clients will disappear and they'll go somewhere else. Take action. You booked a call, John. That's what I'm talking about.
My friend, John. John's an old friend, man. I love that guy.
Oh, Genevieve came late. Maybe you can send her the replay. Beth
everyone's-
Anderson,
we'll get it.
there is hope. I will prepare packages based on value and collect money up front. Yeah, just do the 3 Ps, Beth, and report to Nate how it goes. It's a game changer, and it's very simple, but most people, we don't prepare for meetings, right, Beth? You see a meeting on your calendar at 1, you show up at 12:59. That's not going to cut it. You have to prepare and do this stuff up front. So later on, you're not having to chase and spend 5-10x the time to do all the other minutia that I've seen. Yeah, collecting up front. Okay, are there any other questions?
I think we're good. Looks like you've addressed it beautifully. So,
okay, fantastic.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't. I'm a little disappointed that you didn't put on like the Acropolis or the Greek coast.
Oh, I have a better picture.
Hold
on.
I saw that in a bunch of those video testimonials that you were playing, and I thought, oh wow, she's been all over the place somehow.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Let me show you the best picture, okay, you guys? So this is Mila. So I'm gonna pick her up today at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully I'm well rested for our phone calls that we have coming up, and I'm not tired.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for your time. Michelle, thank you. I am very excited for our clients to connect with you and your team and take this step. It's going to be, I think, a real game changer for those who do it. So bless you guys.
Yeah, of course. Anytime, and looking forward to coming back so we can do one of these things again on a different topic.
All right. All right. Sounds good, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.